What are the correct ways to edit your photos, whether it be cropping, whether it be color adjusting, whether it be density correction, whatever? What are the biggest mistakes that I see people making, repeatedly when they bring stuff in to get it printed? In this video, we're going to talk about, probably at least 5 things, probably more, about what I see from people when they bring stuff into my lab to get it printed. But first, who am I? My name is Mike Patterson. I've been a full-time professional photographer located here in Western Canada for over 40 years. Not only am I a photographer, not only have I made my living exclusively from photography, but I also own and I operate my own photo lab, printing for many customers from, around the world. And I've not only made mistakes, but I've seen mistakes made when people have been editing, color correcting their photos to get them printed or even to put them online. So let's get into it. And this is based upon what I see, the number of mistakes I see from people. And we'll start with the number one, the biggest one, the one that just drives me up the wall. Don't edit your photos on your cell phone or on your tablet because it's not color corrected. I see people constantly, they take their pictures with their cell phone and then they edit them on their cell phone, whether it be on Facebook or whether it be on some other program, Photoshop, whether it be whatever they use. They go in and they start editing, they're changing, they're adjusting, they're tweaking, and your cell phone is not color corrected. Likewise, I see a lot of people who shoot with really good camera systems. Then they upload everything online. Then they sit on their phone at a doctor's office or wherever they are, and they start editing wedding pictures, wildlife pictures, nature pictures, family pictures, whatever. Don't use your phone. Don't use your tablet for editing your pictures because it's not color corrected. It's not even close to being right. In fact, just the other day, I had a customer come in here. I know the customer well. Brings in his tablet and he says, I need a picture printed. And he's going through his tablet looking for the pictures and he finds a picture. He says, what do you think of this one? I says, hey, that looks really good. Now, it was super, and I mean super saturated, super contrasty. And the colors were really perfect. They looked perfect on the tablet. He then uploaded the picture to me. I pull it on my system, and they were the bluest of blue people that you could imagine. There was no contrast to it. It was a flat picture. His tablet was making the picture look better than what it actually was. And even when he posts the stuff online, it looks weird online because his tablet, his phone, all his other devices are showing it in different ways than what it's showing to other people when they're looking at it on computers or they're getting it printed. So don't edit it online. Don't color correct. Don't do anything. Get yourself a good computer. Get yourself a good monitor. If you have to, and I'll talk about this in a minute, get it color corrected, get it balanced, get the equipment that you need, and get it so that it's working properly. All right, number 2, another big one. And there's nothing wrong with this, just be careful with it. And that is, if you're taking your pictures and you're putting in a program, and I'm going to pick on here Canva. If you're putting them in Canva and you're doing work and you're doing layouts and everything like this, be careful what the colors are actually looking like. And I see this constantly. In fact, I had a person that showed this. This was just perfect. He came in and he wanted a picture printed for a memorial. So he gave me the file. I printed the picture. It looked amazing. It looked fantastic. He decided that he liked that picture, but he wanted to do one with the person's name and birth date and death date on it and a little bit of a script. So he took the file, he put it into Canva, he did some editing, he exported it from Canva, and he sent it to me for printing. Now, he did nothing to the photo itself, absolutely nothing. He just imported it into Canva, he did some work on it, adding some text, and he exported it. And the picture, the file, was so much darker when I got it, when it came out of Canva, that it was ridiculous. So be careful if you're editing anything online like that, that you know that it's going to change the colors. You know that it's going to adjust stuff. Make sure you're selecting, if you can, even with your computer program that you paid for. If you're using Photoshop on your computer, if you're using another program on your computer, make sure you're using the right color space to edit in because it makes a huge difference. There's nothing wrong with using Canva. There's nothing wrong with using Photoshop. There's nothing wrong with using a lot of programs. But if it's not set up correctly, it's a huge problem. Now, a little bunny trail from here. If you are doing any editing, especially online, like a program like Canva, make sure that you're using it at the right resolution. And I get this constantly. People will do all this work on a photo or on a collage, and they will go all through this and they'll make it look just perfect. And then they export it and then they send it to me and it's a thumbnail, if even that, because they didn't select the right size. Make sure you're selecting the right size. If you're starting with a blank canvas and you want 4x6 prints, make sure you select 4x6. Don't select thumbnail. Don't select some web version. Make sure you're selecting the right size. If you want to do a 16x20 portrait, make sure you're selecting 16x20. Make sure you're not selecting 2x3, or make sure you're not selecting these low pixels, because it destroys the picture. It destroys the image. All right, the next one. And this is a big one as well. If you're making a collage out of a bunch of images on the same photo, make sure that all the pictures on that photo look the same, that one's not super, super bright and the other one is super, super dark, and then there's a bunch in the middle. I get this constantly. People putting collages together and then they come in, they get a sample print done, they go, oh, I don't like it. This person's really bright and this person's really dark and these people are okay. Nothing can be done easily to fix that. Make sure you're adjusting it before you're assembling it, before you're taking all your time to do this. Because if you're not, there's a lot of work that has to be done by somebody like me to fix it, and we're going to charge you for it. So if you're taking a picture that's really dark, make sure that you're adjusting it, that you're lightening it so it looks the same density, the same colors as the other pictures. All right, I'm getting off on a tangent here on like editing and stuff, but here's another one. If you're setting up any photos for, let's say, a Christmas card, because, hey, it is at the end of September here, and we are starting to think of Christmas, and people are starting to make Christmas cards, make sure that the text is actually readable. Please, people. If you're using a 26-inch monitor and you're zooming in on the file that you're working on, the image that you're working on, and you can read it perfect on that screen, it doesn't mean that you're going to be able to read it perfectly on a 4x6 print. Please understand, if you're using 1 or 2 point font and you're zooming in to see it and you're trying to put on an entire verse or entire story on a 4x6 picture and include 10 other pictures on it, you're probably not going to read it in the final print. It's just not going to look good. So make sure you keep it small. Make sure that you keep, well, not small, but make sure that you keep the wording small, not a lot of words, and make sure that it's big enough that you can read it. If you have to, use an AI program to shorten it. Make sure that it's only a few words and not a whole verse. And then, as a side note here, get a sample print done before you order 50, 75, 100, 200, 500. Tell my customers constantly, get a sample print done. It costs you a whole 79 cents. Get it done. And then take a look at it and see if you can read it. All right, that was a tangent on putting things together. Let's get back into color correcting. Another huge mistake I see, and it's a massive mistake, is that people are not using adjustment layers to adjust photos. They're going in, they're adjusting the photos, they're saving it, they're sending it for printing, and if they've blown out the colors, if they've blown out the density, or whatever they've done to it, there's no way of going back. Use adjustment layers. Then make sure you're saving those layers using PSD or using TIFF or using something where those layers are not flattened. I get it constantly, and I mean constantly. People coming in here, they've edited a picture, they've blown it out, they've done something really bad to it, and they have no way of going back. They now have to go and start all over. So make sure you're using adjustment layers. All right, the next thing. This I already talked about a little bit, but get sample prints done before you order a quantity of prints. Please, people, please. And then make adjustments from there and stop blaming the lab, blaming the printer. Well, it looked good on my phone. That's nice. It can look good on your phone, but it doesn't look good in print. So just be careful with that. All right, the next one that I see and I hear about constantly. Well, it looked good on my monitor. I don't care what monitor you've bought. I don't care how much you've spent, whether it's $500, whether it's $5,000. That monitor needs to be calibrated. Now, you can cheat, and I've talked about this in other videos. You can cheat in calibrating, but I've tried it. I've recently installed a new computer and a new monitor. And when I got it installed, I did a quick balance just by eye, and it was pretty close, but it was not perfect. It was far from perfect. I went and got my calibration system. I calibrated the monitor, and it was 100% perfect. So take the time, invest in the money, and calibrate your monitor. All right, the next thing, editing. And I get this constantly. The lighting is changing. The sun's getting lower in the sky. It's getting darker earlier, and it's getting light just for a short time, and the shadows, and just things are changing big time. Make sure that where you're editing your pictures, that the lighting hasn't changed dramatically. I have people who will calibrate a monitor, and they'll use the monitor all summer, and everything looks great. And then all of a sudden, they're working in the same room, and the room is now dark more of the day than it's light. And all of a sudden, they're lightening stuff up, or they're darkening stuff too much, and things are changing big time. If you're doing this professionally, if you're doing this for a living or as a serious hobby, get a room, close the drapes, make sure that it's always like that when you're working, and calibrate your system to that. All right, the next thing, when you're color correcting and when you're adjusting, when you're doing all of this stuff, and I say this constantly, don't go overboard. I see people constantly, they bring in a file and the people look like Smurfs. The next time they come in, the people look like Red Lobsters. The next time they come in, the people are back to Smurfs again. They adjust so radically that it is crazy. Go in small steps. Don't make it look like it's been adjusted. Don't tweak the heck out of the thing. Go in, adjust it so it's a little bit. I see people constantly using every slider on the screen to adjust a photo, and the photo started out looking great. When they bring it in to get it printed, it looks absolutely horrible. I say, well, what did you do? Well, I darkened the highlights, I've lightened the shadows, I've tweaked the in-between, I've done this, I've done that. It just looks, don't get carried away. All right, the next big mistake, and I've talked about this before, and I'll talk about this again and again and again. If you're a nature photographer, if you're a wildlife photographer, if you're a wedding photographer, if you're doing anything where you're selling prints, find yourself a lab that you can trust, that has staff that you can talk to. Stay away from these discount labs, drugstore labs. Stay away from these labs where they change staff more often than I change my socks. Find a professional lab that you can trust. Get a sample print or multiple sample prints done so that you can see what their work looks like. Compare it to your monitor. Even if you're using a calibration system on your monitor may be way out from what the prints are that you're getting from your lab. This is a normal thing. This is not something that's screwed up. This is not something that's wrong with the lab. Just the other day, I did a calibration on this monitor right here. Got it all calibrated, fine, went home that night, came back the next day, and the monitor was really bright. Went, that's weird. Well, totally without thinking, I told the calibration system to go ahead and calibrate my monitor. Not realizing that, or not remembering, that I usually don't balance it to the system. I usually keep it a little bit darker so it matches my printer more exactly. So you have to make sure that you're not tweaking things. For me, I get to cheat because I do a print and I see it instantly. For other people, it's something where you may not see the print for a week or a month, depending upon where you send it to, how long it takes to get it back. And if you're going to have a print done, if you're doing multiples of a print, I strongly recommend, and strongly recommend that you get a sample done to make sure you haven't changed your monitor, or the lab hasn't changed something, or something has gone wrong where you've put on the wrong color space, or you've done something to it that's not correct. If you're getting 500 prints done, 50 prints done, get a sample print done. I strongly recommend, and I mean strongly recommend, if you can, deal with a local lab, a place that you can drive down to. I know that there's places where you have to send stuff away and you have to get it back. But if you can, deal with a local lab and take the stuff down, get it printed, take a look at it, bring it home if you want to look at it, and then make sure that you like it before you get all the prints done. All right, I don't know how many I just covered off there, but those are some of the top ones that I see on a daily basis. And I mean, they happen repeatedly. Just take your time, make sure that you're adjusting it properly, make sure that your equipment is up to, well, where it's supposed to be, and you'll get some great prints from your photography. So until next time, have a great day. Get out there, take some amazing pictures, get them printed so they look amazing, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye now.